Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us today on the first ever GoodBlock and Friends podcast. I have Douglas here with me today. Hi Douglas.
Hey Erica, how's it going? And hey everybody.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks for being here. We have a super exciting guest today, but first, let's talk about what this podcast is about.
Let's talk about that. Back in the day, GoodBlock used to do a lot of stuff, a lot of videos, and we've been so focused on what we've been doing that we on working on that I don't think we've communicated. And I feel like I want to be in better touch. I want all of us to be in better touch with the Telos community and share what we think Telos is about. It's grown so much. I think different people have, the vision of what it's going to be is expanding, and I just want people to know what we're excited about.
Yeah, I love that. And to mirror that, it's a great way for us to talk about the stuff that GoodBlock's up to, meet new people, talk to new people inside and outside the Telos space. We're really excited to talk to a lot of people outside of Telos, and just learn more about the whole Web3 ecosystem. And
I think it's going to be fun too.
Some fun tools, and we want to make it fun.
We make it fun. I think there's a lot of podcasts where they talk about their thing, but like I have some, you and I talked about this. We have some fun ideas to make this a little bit more fun. Have a couple of different interesting guests on per show, and really kind of break it up and make it more of a sort of a talk show type thing, which will be funny. But today we have one because he's awesome enough for five. So
true.
So this will be weekly, and it will be different people from GoodBlock. We've got an amazing team, and so we're gonna mix it up.
You guys are gonna get to know our dream team.
Yeah. I'm super excited about Telos these days. And all the things on it, like Condo Weather and Apex, and I don't know, what's your favorite thing going on Telos right now?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. Apex is the one I feel like is the most relevant, and everybody can use it and relate to it and understand what it is and understand why it's necessary. So I really love that. I also really love the some of the green energy projects that have been going on. Like you mentioned, Condo Weather is a great one. We've got some carbon sequestration projects that are also talking about building that we're super excited about. There's just so much going on that it's hard to keep track these days.
It really is.
It still helps. I actually would like to learn more about the ecosystem by doing these too.
I'm really excited about the new TelosEVM ecosystem that, we have Omnidex and then Zappy, and now there's the insurance protocol on it, and the aggregator. They're all kind of like stacking up, building up. It's awesome. You remember when we used to know everyone doing anything in Telos?
Yes. Yes, I do.
And vice versa.
We were looking for things. We were like, what happened this week? What can we write about?
Now we can't keep up.
Not anymore. No, we can't keep up now.
I see people on the internet talking about it or whatever, and it's like that they have no idea. It's like, wow.
I totally find things out on like the Telos Foundation Telegram sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, cool. Wow, I didn't know they were launching Neat.
They're talking about something big that they've announced an announcement of something they're going to announce soon, and I don't even know what it is. Maybe you know what it is. You're the chairperson of the Telos Foundation board, so you may know what it is, but I don't. What?
But my lips are sealed. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, this is true. This is not BS. I do not know. You know. You work for me. I don't know, and that's fine. but it's interesting. I can remember knowing everything that was happening and gonna happen because half of it was still in my brain, and I hadn't told anybody yet. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It means the ecosystem's growing. It means we brought in so many people. The whole reason I didn't ever take a role in the Telos Foundation was because I knew that I wanted to bring in new people with new skills that would feel like they could make that their own. And if I was there, there wouldn't be the opportunity for that. So that's exactly what I wanted to happen. And now I look at it and I go, I wonder what's going on there. But it's like,
Yeah. Well,
it's
it's really beautiful. You built this community around something that a lot of people really believe in. And so, the people that we had to choose from when it, came time to like who's going to build stuff was already a pool of people who have really well aligned visions for
yeah,
how we see things and, a fair and equitable future and, eco-friendly future and all of that kind of stuff.
building
So
opportunity around the world.
we had a really great pool of people to choose from,
Yeah. And then they brought in, I mean, they brought in additional people through hiring, but I mean, so much of the Telos sort of leadership and organization comes from people who just started out like in Telos. I love that.
Mhm.
It's really easy to get involved in Telos and come in and decide where you want to contribute and do it. And I don't know any other organization like that, and it makes me really happy.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, how else would we have met Scott Kelly?
Scott Kelly, well, there you go. I mean,
Oh shoot, I saw what? We didn't say yet.
no, we didn't. But let's face it. It's probably all over the title of the thing.
That's
Like
true. That's true.
you and I are the only ones who think that people don't know it yet. Like, yeah, it's all over the place. So yeah, Scott Kelly, astronaut. Amazing story. He was on the International Space Station for just shy of a year. He just really compelling, amazing guy. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to him.
I know, me neither.
You believe we get to interview him?
No, I can't. I'm like shaking, so nervous.
Well,
I'm so excited.
Me too. So the reason we get to do this is we have actually spoken to him before. We've been working with him on his NFT project, which is based on a curated selection of photographs that he took from the International Space Station. I mean, these are gorgeous, and
So
we'll show them, and it's coming up next week on the 12th or Thursday the 12th of whatever month this is. People tell me it's May.
May.
Um, and so we built with a bit of a team, we built this NFT infrastructure for him, and these one of one special NFTs on TelosEVM. He had launched about 2 weeks ago. He launched another one on Ethereum, and even though all proceeds went to Ukraine and they bought carbon offset credits, he still got some, not love from some of his 5.5 million followers. Well, if you've got 5.5 million, somebody's going to have a bone to pick with anything you do. But he launched it on Ethereum, and it went well, sold out in no time. But I think he really took that to heart, and so we came and we were launching this on Telos so that he could show people that not only is blockchain great, but it doesn't have to have a high energy impact.
All right, and super exciting. This is our first show ever, so now we're gonna go talk to Scott Kelly. Welcome.
So we're really proud and excited as our first guest on this podcast to talk to American and world hero astronaut Scott Kelly. Spent a year on the International Space Station. Some of his many records are first person to wear a gorilla costume on the International Space Station. Is that true? Hi, Scott.
Hi. I'm not sure that's a record. Maybe it's a thing.
Well, in the future, who knows? That could catch on.
Yeah.
It's really great to have you here.
Maybe a clown suit next for me. I don't know.
Well, we're excited to have you here, and one of the reasons you're here is because you have become an NFT creator, and you did a launch a couple weeks ago that sold out like in minutes or hours, and all the proceeds went to Ukraine. How did that go, and how did you get involved in it?
Well, I've been interested in the blockchain and cryptocurrency and now NFTs since I left NASA in 2016. I think there's a lot about the technology that could be valuable to our society and our lives in this new transforming digital world. Certainly, Web3 makes it even more interesting, which is kind of a new thing. When people live in and have assets that are digitally, they're going to want to have digital artwork and digital things that they can own. And so I wanted to be involved in this space as early as I could. Takes a little while, but I was happy to be able to release that first set of NFTs that sold out very quickly, and very happy that we were able to use it for relief in the war in Ukraine for the Ukrainian citizens.
Yeah, absolutely. So switching over to talking about this newest release that we have, these are all photos that you actually took yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into photography? What made you decide you wanted to go that route, and what was maybe some of the first kind of pictures you took?
Well, in space, being a photographer is part of your job, and it's your job for a number of reasons. One is to just document what you're doing, so the public can be aware of where their taxpayer money is going to, and that that are basically photos like public affairs, kind of PAO kind of photos. Just what you're working on, what you're doing. I mean, this started in the very earliest days of the space program. Photography has been a big part. We also use photography on board to document hardware that we may be working on. Some of it is macro photography, where we're taking very close-up images of things to document their configuration, maybe. Other photography we do is for Earth observations. Trying to document how our planet is changing, and climate change, and the fragility of the atmosphere is an example. But I looked at this, the privilege of flying on the space station as an opportunity to do something more artistic. My mother was an artist, besides being a police officer in New Jersey, and I think I got maybe the artistic side of my brain from her. So, I wanted to make photographs that would be what I would call wall worthy. In other words, if you hung them on the wall, people would say, "Wow, that's cool. What is that?" And you'd say, "Well, that's the Earth taken from space." And most of those kind of pictures, you wouldn't necessarily know that. Some of them you might, because you could see like an ocean, or you could see the limb of the Earth. Maybe a sunrise or a sunset. But others I took with a very long lens, where when you enhance the color, I never photoshopped any of them, so to speak, never added anything. I just did kind of color enhancement on them, that it just looks like a piece of art. And I called them Earth art, and they became very popular while I was in space for a year, or nearly a year. And I decided that I would like to give the opportunity to share these as NFTs, because it's a thing now and people are interested in it. But also, again, I wanted to do it to raise money for the war in Ukraine, because this has become very personal issue to me. So we're going to donate all of the net proceeds of the initial sale of these NFTs, again, to Ukrainian relief efforts.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love the images. I think you absolutely achieved making art that you can just look at for its own sake, and the fact that it's Earth, it makes me ask so many questions. There's one that's over like a molten lava lake. And there's another one that's similar subject matter, but different, that's over Kazakhstan. And I just look at these I'm like, how is that Earth? I really like it. It touches me.
Yeah.
And for these NFT, and so you curated for initially 15 of these that you selected that you thought would be great for launching. They're all going to be one of one unique NFTs, and then you went the extra step of recording the artist statement, and we put that to some music and things, and I just think that's great. How did you pick which ones to use, and how did the whole process go once we started working together?
Well, I picked the ones that I thought would look the best as, in a, NFT digital format. Then some, ones that somebody could, potentially then blow up and hang it on the wall and say, well, I also own this as an NFT. So, just the ones that spoke to me from an artistic perspective, points on Earth that I found particularly interesting, or that were often beautiful to take with that long lens. It's actually kind of a hard thing to do. These close-up images of the Earth with a long lens. That's, I think maybe it's wound up being about 800 millimeter lens with a doubler on it, so like a 1600 millimeter lens that when you're going 17,500 miles an hour to track the Earth as you're flying over it that quickly, you wouldn't be able to. It's not really possible to do that unless you've been in space for a long time. So over 2 long duration space flights, I developed this technique where certain areas of the planet could look really, really cool with these very close up images.
That's amazing. Yeah, having been involved in photography in various areas, I mean, I know you've got a very long lens. You've got to be an infinity focus. You've got to just nail that, and you did.
Yeah.
And then
It's actually not exactly at infinity. You would think it would be.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Also, interestingly enough, when you take pictures of the like even planets and stars, it's just a little bit shy of infinity for some reason on these lenses. Never quite understood why, but certainly the Earth, which is 250 miles away with that lens, you're not focused on infinity. You're almost never focused on infinity for some strange photography reason that I don't even quite understand in space.
I think you would be the guy of all humans around. You would know. You would put the infinity to the test.
Because infinity, if you think about it, is like really, really, really far away.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, but the depth of field on those lenses is super narrow once you've got like 800 millimeters and a doubler on it, and I don't know how you did it, because normally if people take photos, they do anything in a long lens. It's always it's like that. I mean, congratulations on developing that technique, because it's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that also leads me to our next question. Can you tell us a little bit about the overview effect and what that means to you and how it's affected your perspectives?
Absolutely. When you have this privilege of flying in space, a few things become pretty obvious. One is that we all live on the same planet, and it's floating in darkness. It is incredibly beautiful, but we are all in this thing called humanity together. When you see the Earth from space, you don't see political borders. You see, continents, that there are people down there, they have, similar lives and issues as you do. So it just makes it seem like we are all in this thing called humanity together. You also see how fragile the environment looks. I mean, our atmosphere looks like a thin film over the surface, like a contact lens over your eye, is how thin and fragile it looks. Some part of the planets are almost always covered in pollution. There are, the deforestation in the rainforest I noticed from space over my 17 years between my first flight and my last flight. And, I'm a big believer in going to Mars. I hope we go someday. I think we should. I think there's a lot of important reasons to do that. But I always tell people, we're all not going to Mars. Yeah. No matter how bad we screw this planet up, it will always be easier to live here than on Mars. Yeah. There's no planet B. This is it. It's all we got.
Exactly.
Wow. I have real goosebumps from what you're talking about. I mean, it tracks 100% with what I feel, but I don't have
Mhm.
the perspective of having been in space and looking at it. So it's amazing, and I think that's what we need, and that's what we need for the world. And when we started out and build Telos, that's it's a different look at the same thing. Like we have one we have one planet, we have one
Yeah.
species we're trying to do something good. So you came to Telos, you brought these art NFTs to Telos EVM, in part because of our sort of alignment that TelosEVM is the greenest blockchain in the world. You don't have any of it has the lowest energy uses overall and per transaction, and so it solves that problem of some launches. And I know you heard from your community about the last launch, that people want to solve this problem.
Yeah.
So tell us how you came to Telos, and how what you think about about creating really fast,
Yeah.
powerful environmentally.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, I think, the many things in our society, use energy. Even if you buy a book, right there, that has a carbon footprint. Um, NFTs have carbon footprints. They're not inherently bad. They just use electricity. For the first launch, we did buy carbon offsets for that. So it was, environmentally friendly, I would say. But Telos, but by the nature of its design, is environmentally friendly. Someone told me that the text message I sent has probably had more of a carbon footprint than a Telos transaction. I don't know if that's true, but
it certainly does.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And a Google search is crazy, and and Christmas tree lights. Can you see Christmas tree lights from space?
no. You, you can see fireworks on like New Year's Eve just by little tiny dots of flashes over certain parts of the world if you're passing over there right around or right after the clock changes from one year to another. But no Christmas tree lights. But yeah,
I
so
joke because
Telos.
Christmas tree lights if everyone's down on Ethereum and Bitcoin, Christmas tree lights use 3 times as much energy as the entire Bitcoin network currently. There's a lot
Yeah,
of things you could
yeah,
do to really walk the walk.
yeah.
Mhm.
So there's everything uses electricity. You buy a book from a bookstore, and most of those books come from China, and they're not teleported here, right? So they do have a carbon off footprint as well. So, but like all energy, we need to make it as green as possible where that energy comes from. So, and that is what is going to solve, hopefully, one day, the climate crisis we're currently in. So, and it's great that Telos is doing their own part by making theirs as environmentally friendly as possible.
Thank you. Thank you. That we have that goal. I'm amazed by how much you've done, how much you've seen, and the fact that you seem to have just an incredibly optimistic, positive, empowering worldview. Please tell me that's right, and if so, how do you do that, knowing all that you know? That's
Yeah. Well, when you spent your career building and operating a international space station that was built by a international partnership of 15 different countries, different languages, different cultures, built by astronauts and cosmonauts while flying around the Earth at 17,500 miles an hour in a vacuum and extremes of temperatures of plus or minus 270 degrees. That's the hardest thing we've ever done, I think, harder than going to the moon. And if we can do that, we can do anything. We can solve these problems that we have on Earth, the pandemic, problems that we have with the, geopolitically, problems, within our country, challenges that maybe people have in their personal lives, challenges with the environment. We, as a species, if we make up our minds to do something and we work together in a cooperative and peaceful way, we can do some absolutely amazing things. So that's where I get my inspiration from for this idea.
My turn to have goosebumps.
Thank you for
Yeah, that's great.
for sharing that. I could talk to you all day.
I know you do have a heart out,
inspiring.
though, so
It's
uh,
very
probably
inspiring.
wrap this up. But yeah, thank you.
I personally want to thank you for being part of Telos and just what we're trying to do. It just makes me feel honored that somebody like you, also sees the value in that. And just thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Scott.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I did tear
Oh
up.
my God.
Holy shit! I actually teared up a little.
Oh my God. Wow. That was amazing. How do you feel about that, Erica? I mean, we just talked to a hero and an astronaut and a great guy.
Little Erica would never ever have believed that this was happening right now. I mean, wow.
I bet there'll be a lot of things in your career that little Erica would never have believed were going to happen.
Maybe.
You're off to a good start. Yeah, that was amazing. This is, we just started this, this podcast, and I think we're going to have a very hard time.
Talking in the first episode.
Yeah. The first episode is a real standout, but we'll try.
We'll try our best.
So, so we'll have more episodes of this podcast coming every week, and it'll be different members of the GoodBlock family and team, and it will be with really inspiring guests. Man, I hope we can get that close, but who knows what we'll get. I'm really excited about it because it's a great way for us to share what we're doing, to share what Telos is doing, to kind of expand the vision of what we think is important about Telos. There's a lot of information about Telos going on, but I really want people to get excited and understand what we're trying to do. And so it's awesome that we're doing this. By the way, Telos Culture is helping us produce this, and those guys are awesome, and they've done a great job.
So amazing.
So Erica, give us the details. So now that everyone's going to be like crazy, one of these 15 one-of-one amazing space photography, high definition with Scott's own artist's voice on there. Which I don't think has happened before in NFTs. I think that's new. How do they get them? What do they do? When does it come out?
So the launch is Thursday, May 12th at it's going to be 10 a.m. Pacific time. I believe that's 17 UTC. And they will be live on scottkellyart.com. Also, leading up to the event, we'll have a whitelist available on the same website. So you can get in there, get your name on the whitelist. We'll also have instructions on how to get a TelosEVM account if you've never done that before. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, we'll have another video where we take anyone if you've never heard of Telos before in your life, all the way the process step by step pretty easily through. Now if you're lucky enough to bid on it, now you own one of these 15 unique artworks. So we think that's really important to do step by step. And that's, so there'll probably be a link now on this video where you can just click right to do that. I sure hope. Erica, thank you. Wow, how fun.
I know, right?
I don't know what I'm going to do now. I
need to come down to
work. I'm not going to work now. I just
interviewed an astronaut. I'm not going to work. Sorry, Douglas.
No, I'm not either. I think
I need a raise.
Wow, high point. Definite high point. Yeah. Well,
thank you. This was so much fun.
Best question. So thanks for asking the best questions. Why don't we sign off and then try to figure out how we'll ever match this initial episode.
We'll find a way.
All right. I know we will.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It would be great if you wanted to thumbs up this video,
subscribe,
hit the alarm bell,
tell your mom,
talk about it on Twitter,
Yeah, for sure. Telegram.
Probably Facebook your grandma.
Definitely Facebook your grandma. Fax it to somebody in 1995.
Send smoke signals to your family.
Yeah.
Great.
Write a
Well,
letter. Write a letter. Nobody writes letters these days.
good one. That's a really good one. Or you could make it an NFT.
You should make it an NFT. That is really, in the end, make it an NFT. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you. We'll keep bringing you more Good Block and Friends episodes that'll be super fun. So enjoy the ride.
See you then.